The first known appearance of the joke was in the New York magazine The Knickerbocker in 1847. It went like this: "Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side." At first glance, it seems like an anti-joke, a form of humor where the punchline is either mundane or contrary to what one might expect. During this period, much humor was focused on wit, satire, and sometimes elaborate setups with clever punchlines. The chicken joke stands out because it seems to lack complexity, providing an answer so simple it's almost absurd. But therein lies its charm. It satirized the idea of the big reveal and played with the audience's expectations, becoming one of the first forms of deadpan humor. Although it's often seen as a throwaway gag, the chicken crossing the road joke has taken on symbolic meanings over the years. Journey of life. Some interpret the road as a metaphor for life's challenges, risks, or unknowns. The chicken, a symbol of innocence or naivety, ventures into uncertainty, something all of us do at different stages in life, philosophical or existential. The phrase "to get to the other side" has, over time, been interpreted more darkly, with some suggesting it could symbolize death or an afterlife. The chicken crosses the road not merely to reach a destination, but to transcend existence itself. In this reading, it resonates with existentialist questions. Why do we make choices, take risks, or pursue goals? Do we ever truly understand the why? Anti-humor and absurdity. The punchline's simplicity is itself the joke. It subverts traditional punchlines, making the audience laugh because they expect something far more elaborate. The very lack of humor becomes its source of humor. This made it one of the earliest examples of meta-humor, where the structure of the joke is the subject of the joke itself. The joke's simplicity has made it adaptable and endlessly reworkable. It quickly became embedded in Western humor and was a staple in children's jokes, schoolyard conversations, and pop culture. Notable anecdotes: Mark Twain's era. Some say that the straightforwardness of the joke fits within the broader humor style of the late 19th century during Mark Twain's era. While Twain himself didn't reference the joke, its focus on dry, understated humor echoes the wit of the time. Evolution into political satire. In modern times, it's been repurposed as a tool for political and social commentary. For example, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, one version quipped, "Why did the Berlin Wall chicken cross the road? To escape to the west." In pop culture, the joke has appeared in movies, books, TV shows, and even on the internet. It became an inescapable part of the comedic lexicon, showing up in everything from The Simpsons to stand-up routines. If you enjoyed this dive into the timeless humor of Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating content. Over time, the joke evolved and adapted, taking on countless variations, each one adding a twist or nodding to specific cultural or intellectual references. Here are a few examples. Philosophical variations: Plato, "For the greater good." Sartre, "The chicken was condemned to be free." Nietzsche, "Because if you gaze too long across the road gazes also across you." Scientific variations: Einstein, "Did the chicken really cross the road, or did the road move beneath the chicken?" Heisenberg, "We can never know exactly why the chicken crossed the road." Pop culture or modern takes: Star Wars, "To join the dark side." Harry Potter, "Because it didn't want to be a muggle anymore." Tech-inspired variations: Steve Jobs, "The chicken crossed the road because it was an innovative, revolutionary way to think differently about poultry." Bill Gates, "I have just released the Chicken 2024, which will not only cross roads but also lay eggs, make coffee, and seamlessly integrate with Windows." Political takes: Conservative version, "Because it was tired of the socialist regulations and taxes on its side of the road." Liberal version, "Because it was free to choose and it wanted to explore the greener, more inclusive side of the road." Since its initial appearance in the 19th century, the joke has transcended generations. In the early 20th century, it was a popular riddle for children, but by the mid-20th century, it became a tool for intellectual and absurdist humor. Monty Python's Flying Circus, known for absurd humor, likely benefited from the type of deadpan subversion seen in the chicken joke. In the internet age, it evolved into memes and continued to adapt with current trends, always playing off the audience's expectations. The basic format has become a meme template where the punchline changes according to the latest cultural trends, but the setup remains familiar and recognizable. The reason the "Why did the chicken cross the road?" joke has lasted through generations is its universal appeal. On the surface, it's a simple riddle, perfect for children, but when examined more deeply, it becomes a commentary on humor, absurdity, and even the human condition. People laugh because it tricks them into expecting something elaborate, only to be met with the mundane, making it surprisingly clever for such a straightforward punchline. As humor evolves, this joke reminds us that simplicity can often be the most effective form of wit, and that in the right context, even a chicken crossing the road can provoke thought and laughter. The "Why did the chicken cross the road?" joke belongs to a category known as the anti-joke. This is a type of humor that plays on the structure of a traditional joke, but deliberately delivers a punchline that defies comedic expectation. While the setup primes the listener for something surprising or clever, the punchline is mundane to get to the other side. This simplicity makes it stand out because it undermines the very nature of a joke. In literature, this is akin to subverting a genre or breaking the fourth wall, where the work of art recognizes itself and manipulates the audience's expectations. The chicken joke does the same, making the lack of a joke the joke itself. The joke also has a self-referential quality, making it a forerunner of postmodernist humor. Postmodernism in literature, art, and philosophy often involves irony, meta-commentary, and a rejection of straightforward storytelling. The chicken joke is a precursor to this because it pokes fun at the very format of jokes. Just as postmodern art questions its own existence or purpose, the chicken joke quietly challenges the structure of comedy. Psychological impact: why we laugh at anti-jokes, cognitive dissonance, and humor. Psychologically, humor often arises from cognitive dissonance, or the tension between what we expect and what actually happens. The chicken joke builds this tension. The listener anticipates a clever or absurd answer, and the punchline delivers something dull and obvious. This gap between expectation and reality is key to why we laugh. Benign violation theory. The chicken joke also fits well into the benign violation theory of humor, proposed by psychologists Peter McGraw and Caleb Warren. This theory suggests that humor occurs when something is simultaneously perceived as a violation. It disrupts normal patterns, and benign. It's safe or non-threatening. The chicken joke violates the expectation of a traditional punchline, but it does so in a completely benign way. The result is laughter, not from a clever insight, but from the realization that our expectations have been subverted so gently. The joke as a test of wit. In social settings, especially among children, the chicken joke has become a way to test wit and understand humor dynamics. Children might initially take the joke literally, only to later grasp the irony in its simplicity. This aha moment becomes a learning experience in comedic timing and structure. As people grow older, they recognize the meta layer of humor involved, deepening their appreciation of the joke. The joke in education and humor theory. Educational value. The chicken joke is often one of the first jokes children learn, and it plays a role in developing their understanding of humor, logic, and language. Its simplicity makes it accessible to young minds, while its anticlimactic punchline introduces the concept of sarcasm and irony, two important pillars of humor. Educators sometimes use the joke as a tool to explain how narratives work, as well as how we construct and deconstruct expectations. Linguistics and humor theory. Linguists and humor theorists use the chicken joke as a classic example of frame shifting, a key mechanism in jokes where the setup leads the listener to adopt one frame of understanding, and the punchline forces them to reframe it. Here, the setup suggests there will be an unusual or imaginative explanation for the chicken's crossing, but the punchline forces a return to the literal and mundane. The joke is also analyzed in the context of Grice's maxims, which are the principles that guide effective communication. Maxim of quantity: be as informative as necessary. Maxim of quality: be truthful. Maxim of relation: be relevant. Maxim of manner: avoid ambiguity. In the chicken joke, the punchline subverts the maxim of relation, leading to its comedic effect by providing a relevant yet disappointingly literal explanation. Interestingly, the chicken crossing the road joke has transcended cultural boundaries, though it doesn't always translate directly. The appeal of subverting expectation is universal, but different cultures may adjust the joke to fit their own narrative structures, animals, or forms of travel. In other cultures, in France, why did the snail cross the road to get to the other side, but it took much longer? In Japan, while chickens are not as culturally prominent, the Japanese equivalent might involve a character like Kintaro, a folklore hero. For example, why did Kintaro climb the mountain to fight the bear on the other side? In the Middle East, in some Arab countries, there's a variation on the joke that uses a camel instead of a chicken. Why did the camel cross the desert? Because it was thirsty, and the oasis was on the other side. In each case, the core humor remains the same, though local animals or elements of folklore and geography are substituted to make the joke relatable. The arrival of the internet breathed new life into the chicken joke, transforming it into a meme template that has continued to evolve. On platforms like Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter, users riff on the original joke, applying it to modern scenarios, politics, or pop culture, ensuring that it stays relevant. Meme variations, science fiction, and fantasy. Why did the chicken cross the road? To avoid spoilers. Programming technology. Why did the JavaScript developer cross the road? Because it didn't call back. Social commentary. During times of political or social unrest, the joke adapts to current events. For example, why did the 2020 chicken cross the road? It was trying to social distance. These iterations show the flexibility of the joke's structure, making it a perfect candidate for mimetic humor. It's a foundational joke that can be bent and reshaped to fit any context while still remaining recognizable. The chicken joke has even been referenced in literature and visual art, often used to symbolize simple questions with deeper existential meanings. Literature. In Douglas Adams's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the joke gets a nod in a meta-comedic context, where questions about existence, life, and purpose are frequently discussed. The chicken's simple decision to cross the road could be seen as a parody of the larger existential questions asked throughout the book, such as, what is the meaning of life? Visual art. In the world of contemporary visual art, artists have used the chicken joke as a jumping-off point for discussions about absurdity. For example, artists might depict a chicken mid-crossing, highlighting the ridiculousness and futility of everyday tasks. At its heart, the why did the chicken cross the road joke is a timeless commentary on human expectation. Its ability to make us laugh lies in its simplicity and the fact that it works on multiple levels, literally, symbolically, and intellectually. It's not just a joke for children, it's a profound example of how humor can challenge assumptions, disrupt conventions, and even make us question our own reactions. The chicken crossing the road may seem trivial, but the joke itself has grown to symbolize the intersection of humor, philosophy, and cultural evolution. In the end, the joke endures because we're always crossing roads ourselves, whether metaphorical or literal, seeking answers to questions that sometimes have none. And like the chicken, we keep going, if only to get to the other side. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.